If you're thinking about moving to Southeast Tennessee, then there is one question that you have got to ask yourself, and that question could dramatically change your lifestyle. Most people think they already know the answer until they actually live it, because sometimes what sounds perfect in theory just turns out to be totally wrong for your daily life. So as we go through this today, I want you to keep one thing in mind. Picture your actual routine, the errands, the evenings, the weekends. And at the end of this video, I'll give you a few questions to ask yourself that can help you make the decision a little bit clearer. So that question to ask before you make the move is, do you want to live in the city where you've got brunch spots and museums and shops right at your doorstep? Or do you want to live in the country where you can sunbathe nude on your back porch and there ain't nobody there that's gonna even see you to care? I'm Chris Roberts, your relocation realtor right here in Southeast Tennessee. I made the move from Maine in 2016, and now I help people just like you find the right home and the right fit right here in the Chattanooga region. I'm not a top 1% agent, but I give 100% to every one of my clients. Check out my reviews because my clients say it way better than I can. So today, let's break down what life actually looks like both in the city and the country in the Chattanooga area so that you can find what really fits you. All right, let's start with city living. And I'm not talking about skyscrapers and subways. Chattanooga has a small city feel, but a vibrant and growing core. Think walkability, rooftop bars, weekend events, and all of the amenities just within a few minutes drive. Neighborhoods like North Shore, South Side, and the riverfront, they're gonna give you that out your front door lifestyle. Coffee shops, 1 block away. Farmers market, it's happening every Sunday. Want to catch a concert or a Lookouts game? You can be there in just a few minutes. And just to give you a little background, I have lived in both worlds. I used to live in one of the busiest parts of Boston, right near Fenway Park. Constant energy, public transit, always something happening. And I've also lived in a town with literally 800 people, where seeing more than 2 cars at a stop sign, it felt like a traffic jam. Even where I live now, just outside of Cleveland, if I see more than 2 cars pass my house within like an hour, it feels like somebody's gotta be having a party and I wasn't invited. So when I talk about the contrast, it's not just theory. I've actually lived it. Take a client of mine, Chrissy, for example. She came from Miami. She's a remote worker and completely over the traffic, the noise, and those Miami prices. She told me that she wants to be close to things. She wants 4 seasons and those mountain views. And so we found her a home that not only delivered that, but had a perfect space to stash her pool table too, and all within just minutes from some amazing restaurants and bars. But here's the thing that a lot of people may not consider. City living here often means less space. If you're coming from a sprawling suburb, your new home might feel a little cozy, which is realtor code for small. Yards are smaller, parking can be tighter, and if you want total silence at night, this might not be the best fit. That said, city life is perfect for people who want to be a part of the action. You're not just close to everything, you're literally in it. Now, who is city living perfect for? Remote workers who want coffee shops and co-working spaces nearby. Even couples or singles who really love a good social scene, and people who are relocating from bigger cities like Atlanta and want amenities just without the chaos. Now, let's head to the other end of the spectrum. Country living in this region, it doesn't mean that you're off-grid with no cell signal, although totally an option if you really want it. It means peace. It means privacy. It means land. Places like Appleton, Charleston, or even where I live, right on the outskirts of Cleveland, offer homes with acreage, space to breathe, and views that make you take a second look. Picture a long gravel driveway, chickens in the yard, a garden, no neighbors yelling over the fence or HOAs coming to measure the grass. Let me tell you about Eric. He and his husband moved here from a suburb of Atlanta, and Eric's got a big background in horticulture, and he was just ready to be done with that traffic. We found this extraordinary home that not only had room for him to work on the land, but inside the laundry room, just tucked away behind a cabinet, we found this full master garden plan from 20 years ago. It was crazy. He lit up when he saw it, and now he wants to bring that back to life. And this is a big but. You're going to drive for everything. There isn't much DoorDashing happening out here. Not much Uber, and if you run out of coffee or creamer, it's gonna be a 20-minute round trip. And internet, let's just say that you want to make sure to check with the provider before you buy anything. Still, for people who are ready to disconnect a little, to enjoy their home as a retreat, and maybe finally buy that zero-turn mower that they've always wanted since they were kids, I mean, that wasn't just me, right? This is gonna be heaven. Now, who is country living perfect for? It could be families who want space for kids and dogs to roam around, remote workers who value quiet over convenience, and anyone looking to trade in traffic noise for cicadas and deer. It's easy to compare square footage or acreage, but what really catches people off guard is how your daily life changes depending on where you live. Let's say you have friends or family visiting from out of town. If you're in the city, it's super duper easy to meet up, grab some great food, show them the sights, and then head back to your place without much planning. You're close to everything. And in the country, that turns into a whole day affair. You've got to plan the drive, make sure that everyone can find your place, and clean the mud off the ATV that you forgot was still sitting in the front yard. It's a different pace, and not everyone loves it. Like when my dad and Mary came down from Maine, and you can check that video out right up here, I made an itinerary for every day, as we typically would have to head into town to do most of the things that I wanted to show them. Oh, and also deliveries. Simple stuff like getting furniture or even a pizza can be a very different experience when you're 45 minutes outside of town. Then there's the sense of community. In the city, you are surrounded by people, but you might not know your neighbors. In the country, you might only see a handful of folks regularly, but you do get to know them. That can be a good thing or not, depending on who moves in next door with a rooster. Also, if you're used to seeing dogs tethered in the yard or at least on a leash while they're being walked, quite often out in the more rural areas, you will see neighbors' dogs walking around, maybe a couple of blocks away from where their house is. I think that we have 3 neighborhood dogs now after Rocco had passed away last year. And then there are the things that a lot of people don't think to ask about, like the emergency vet care. If you're living far out, you might only have one vet nearby that has pretty limited hours. Athens has one that is open on Saturday, but the closest 24-hour emergency vets, they're going to be in Chattanooga. And human health care, you're going to be closer to that than most people might realize. There's a lot of minute clinics and urgent care options in most small towns. And if you're in places like Cleveland or Athens, you've got your pick between Chattanooga and Knoxville for any kind of specialty care you might need. At winter road maintenance, it's light. We don't get much snow, but when we do, you'll probably be stuck at home for a day or two. They'll salt ahead of time for some like big ice events, but that's about it. And with public transportation, rural areas, they basically have none. Chattanooga, though, you'll find free downtown electric shuttles and a modest system through Carta. And cell service, you're always going to want to check your phone when you're out house hunting, because some areas, they're just dead zones. And internet, while it's improving thanks to rural expansion grants, it's not guaranteed. So if your cell service is good, companies like T-Mobile, who we use here at our house, or AT&T, they might offer some home-based internet instead of a fiber or cable option. And then there's trash pickup. So in the country, these are private services that you'll set up yourself, usually around $20 to $30 a month. And with insurance, around here, honestly, I don't see a huge difference in homeowners insurance costs between city living and country living. So that one seems to be pretty consistent. One of the biggest misconceptions that I hear is that country living is drastically cheaper than city living. And while yes, in many cases, you'll get more house for the money in rural areas, the rest of the costs of living is not all that different. Groceries, gas, utilities, those all stay fairly consistent whether you are downtown Chattanooga or you're out in the rolling hills of McDonald. Now, what does change is what your home budget gets you. In the city, $500,000 might get you a beautiful modern townhome, but with little to no yard and shared walls. And that same budget out in the country could land you a full brick home with 2 acres and maybe a creek running through the back of it. But more land and bigger homes can often come with extra responsibilities, and you might be looking at a well and septic maintenance, a longer driveway to maintain, or even fencing if you have pets or livestock. So while the price tag on the home might be better in the country, make sure to factor in what comes with that house in both costs and lifestyle. Now that you've heard both sides, let's check in with you. Here's a quick quiz to kind of help you narrow down which path might feel the most natural. Our first question is, how do you feel about silence? Choose A if you like peaceful, relaxing, and recharging, and B if silence is a little unsettling for you and you just really like to have some background noise. And our second question, what is your ideal weekend? Choose A if it's working in the yard, grilling, or reading on the porch, and choose B if you love to check out new restaurants, art shows, and concerts. Now, number 3, how far is too far to drive for groceries? Choose A if 20 to 30 minutes is totally fine as long as you've got space and views, and choose B if you would rather be 5 to 10 minutes from everything. Now, number 4, what's more important to you? A, privacy and land, or B, proximity and convenience? And for number 5, if you needed internet tomorrow for a remote job, how stressed out would you be if it wasn't available yet? Choose A if you like to find workarounds because you like that flexibility, or choose B if, nope, that is a non-negotiable, you need it day one. So if you answered mostly A's, you're probably going to love the peace and possibility of that country life. And if you answered mostly B's, a city or close-in suburban life, that might be the better match. And if you were sort of mixed, that's totally okay too, because there are some really great middle ground communities that we're going to talk about next. If you're sitting there thinking, I really don't want downtown noise, but I also don't want to be 30 minutes from a grocery store, you're not alone. And luckily, Southeast Tennessee, it has some really great, amazing in-between communities that give you the best of both worlds. Ottawa is one of the most popular. You'll find well-kept neighborhoods, newer homes, great schools, and you're just a quick hop onto I-75 to get right into Chattanooga. It's suburban with a touch of rural charm. And then there's Appleton, which is going to offer some more space and privacy than Ottawa, but you're still relatively close to the action. Think small farms, large lots, and a quiet country feel, but you can still get to Walmart in 20 minutes. And Harrison, now this is a sleeper pick. You've got beautiful views of the lake, quiet residential streets, and you're still close to shopping and dining in East Brainerd or even downtown when you just shoot right down 58. If you like a peaceful setting but don't want to feel too remote, Harrison is worth a look. These areas tend to attract folks who want a little breathing room, but still want access to good restaurants, great schools, and healthcare. In fact, this is where my parents-in-law lived for about a decade or so. Now, at the end of the day, this isn't about city versus country. It's about finding the kind of place that fits you, your pace, your priorities, and your people. Maybe you're craving connection and convenience. A spot where you can walk to dinner, catch a show, and be home in 10 minutes. Or maybe you're ready to just slow down a bit, hear the crickets at night, and have a place where you can truly unwind. And maybe, just maybe, you want something that's right in the middle. And that's okay too. The beauty of the Chattanooga area is that you don't have to pick an extreme to find a home that feels right. And if you're relocating from out of state and trying to figure all this out, I would love to be a resource for you. I'm here to help you think through that stuff that doesn't always show up on Zillow, the lifestyle side of real estate. Now, if this video helped, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe for more Southeast Tennessee insights, and drop a comment below. Are you team city, or are you team country, or are you somewhere in between? I'm Chris Roberts, and I will see you in the next video.